Hey everyone, how are you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I'm here to conduct a downloaded energy reading for the collective. So please do take what resonates, use your discretion, and just leave the rest if it doesn't apply to you. So I was picking up on the collective, and one thing that was really sort of coming quite clear to me was this holding back, like going no further or no longer engaging in something or with somebody, because this is the time of when you need to kind of like really process and really question within yourself whether or not what you're about to keep doing or to step back into to respond. It could lead to consequences that you may not really and truly need in your life, or it might be difficult to get out of. So this feels a little bit like general, but it also has a specific outline to it, an energy sort of like that's a little bit specific to somebody. What I was picking up is that somebody is trying to, like, I was hearing the word bait, like they're trying to bait you into a trap. So it could be a debate, it could be a clickbait, it could be a race bait, something where you're being emotionally tested or challenged. And this requires you, like whatever this is, or if you have already stepped back and, not to respond, because there's something about responding in a certain way or a certain amount of time. If you're not really if you think or get triggered too quickly and you respond too quickly without really being methodical about your response, it could lead to further issues. Okay, so what we've got is the Five of Swords in the reverse. So this is about just sort of like really and truly just stepping back, not being defeated, but rather it's not defeat, it's retreat. Okay, and that sort of message came through quite strongly. Okay, so just because you're not going to engage with somebody, or if it's physical or verbal or online, whatever, it doesn't mean that you have been defeated. Although in their mind, they have defeated you. However, from a more logical perspective and a more mature perspective, no. It's just that you have got a clearer insight as to what's going on, and you have plans. And part of your plan isn't to get arrested and sit inside some cold jail cell whilst your case is going to get brought up because of what this person said or done. Okay. And the Two of Wands is obviously about making that decision. Also, I am getting a sense of wanting to or planning to jump onto a higher timeline. If you notice where the Two of Wands, this wand here, is higher up than this one. And you're looking at it from a totally different perspective, as I said. Now, the world in this man's hand can also indicate the world card. Like, you're just thinking about ending this shit, okay? Ending the cycle. With the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, I do sense that this is something where more inner work needs to be done on yourself. You're focusing on your inner mastery. And at this precise moment in time, because of stepping back, it will make you feel a little ungrounded. And this is where the Hermit card is really trying to sort of ground and stabilize. This could be yourself or one of your guys could be trying to stabilize you as you work on your inner self and try to process what the hell you heard from the other person, or if they're serious about what they're saying. We do have the Knight of Wands. It could be Knight of Wands energy as well. Trying to, that in and out vibe, that player type energy. But the Knight of Swords is about either quick thinking or a fast response. And this is why, as I said earlier, like responding very quickly could get you into more of a kerfuffle with this Five of Swords. So this is why it's feasible to kind of step back and really really and truly don't allow them to test you in this way, because if you're going to be baited in that way, then, it's really going to put you in a very, difficult situation. So let's expand on this reading a little bit more. Let's see what messages that we get from the Five of Swords. So remember, this is, a timeless reading as well. So this could have happened already. This could have played out, or this is something that is about to happen between you and another person or a group of people. Whether you know them personally or not, that's besides the point. The situation here is that you are responding to somebody or a situation that is challenging, or they are directly challenging you. All right, so without further ado, let's step into expanding on this reading. So tell me about what the Five of Swords is, please. That's in the reverse. So we have got the Queen of Swords in the reverse, but we've also got the Ten of Cups that popped out. This is why I said, it's important to not really rip into this person verbally, because it could really put you and others at a disadvantage, okay? And this is what is important, to kind of be in the hermit energy, because if this Queen of Swords, if she's not really thinking straight, if she's not using her wisdom, she can really, it would be just a really bad sort of it's an energy that you just really don't want to just get involved in, and whatever they say, let it stick with them, not onto you. Tell me about the Two of Wands, please. See, this is why it's important to really and truly, guys, it doesn't matter what they say. It really, really doesn't at this point, because your destiny is far greater than the situation that you're in right now. The little placeholder people are what they are. They're just placeholders. They are it's all part of the initiation, and I really do feel that this spiritual journey is calling for a moment to yourself, so that you can more get into yourself and find that inner wisdom and hold on to that, rather than holding on to a grudge with this person who really and truly is baiting you so that they can entrap you further. And the system loves to use low vibrational people like this, because this goes beyond this person, because the system is betting, begging and praying that people are still caught up in that merry-go-round and not really taking a step back from it all, taking it back and looking at it from a higher circle perspective and saying, if I keep on with this content, or if I keep on engaging with this person or engaging with somebody who's online, or whatever the case may be, am I really, really learning anything here that I don't already know already? How is this going to be helping us to get out of the situation if we are firmly embedded in it still, going round and around and around and around in circles? So anyway, let's move on to the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse, and we do have the Six of Cups. This is where this is about, I guess, working together as a team. Now, this can be like soulmate energy. We have many soulmates, people who we are in connection with, all the way how things used to be in the past. Now, it depends on who's watching this. This can be like a time that you remembered when, it was really nice, when people were really nice to each other, until when, what happened over the years, or, the introduction to the internet and everything sort of went up. But I also feel that that was also a time of ignorant bliss, and being kept in the dark about a lot of things. So there is a bit of a good and a bad in the situation, that's unfolding. Technology and information and misinformation. But this is also about the past isn't really working. It's not really working in the way that, it is now. Okay, so this is another reason why to kind of pull back and analyze certain things. With the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, before I pull this card, actually, I was hearing it to be, again, like ungrounded, but again, somebody could be judging you or saying certain things about you because of your situation that you're in, where you might be having financial difficulties, living accommodation may not be that great, or something to that effect, or just know that you just do not belong in this society, like this whole thing that you're in. Okay, you just need to be out of this and be more within, connecting back in with your higher self. So let's have a look at the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have got the High Priestess in the reverse. So there's a feeling of like needing to kind of like gain further wisdom here. And this is something that could have actually been exposed to you as you've gone into the hermit mode, okay? Needing to really tap in, not in your sort of 3D self, but more in your higher self. And then the Hermit card we have got is the Six of Pentacles in the upright position. So I do feel that this is about, again, like this energy exchange, this quantum entanglement. Like, is it really going to be worth you going back and forth with this person? Or just giving them a little bit of, just dropping them where it is, or just hardly explaining yourself, because you don't really have to explain yourself to them. Do they deserve it, or do they? Do they or don't they? That would be up to you. But this is also about, what does reciprocity mean to me? Is it going to elevate me further, higher up, the spiral, or is it going to keep me at a low vibration? Because there will be different levels of reciprocity, good or bad. And I feel that that's where you're at right now, just asking this very blatant, obvious, but really important, question. Then the card underneath the bottom of the deck we have is the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So a feeling of being really ungrounded here because of this situation, and with the Hermit card that's come out twice, this is a strong indication of needing to really and truly get yourself grounded before you get yourself into some serious trouble, with this person or people. All right, so let's close out this reading with the Inner Temple Oracle. And the first card I'm going to just pull from the top here is Chamber of Healing. So I do feel that there is something that you really do need to heal from with regards to this situation. They could have said some really nasty things to you. And again, there are a lot of these glitches within certain low vibrational people that say certain things, or they have this outburst, but that that they're easily compromised and easily manipulated into really going out there to attack other people who have very strong light within them. They can't stand that. So the more that you're shining your light, then obviously it's affecting them even more. The next card that I've got, let's just speak, is the Burning Rose. So this is like I'm getting like a strong desire, a strong burning desire, a purpose that you need to be working on and focusing on to do what it is that you came here to do, because you never came here for nothing. You came here to experience something, and if there is anything that you could do to help the community or the humanity, this is what you're going to be working towards. But it's going to require you to not really engage in this kind of energy that will compromise what you're trying to work on. The next card that I have is the Masks We Wear. And I feel that whoever or whatever sort of tried to get you, to bait you out, they actually exposed themselves even more to show you what kind of person they are. And also, the moment that you stepped back away from this sort of falsehood, you ended up sort of like becoming more authentic within yourself too. So the burning away, the falling away of all these, falsehoods, these masks, and really seeing these, people for who they are and what they are. I'm also getting as well something that's just popped through when I'm looking at the mask, and it's interesting because we know what we keep on seeing online in certain videos, right? Certain people that appear to look human, but they're not. For some of you, or for, not many, maybe you've actually seen this happen in real life, or it could have been online, personally, like in real time that you've actually saw it. And then before you go and respond to this person, it's like you need to take a step back and really deliberate and ask yourself, again, like, what the hell did I see? What the hell's going on here? What the hell just happened? Okay, so that's just something that just came through. The next card that we've got is the in-between, but there's another card that I can feel. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, cool. Sorry. I haven't really had this deck for long, so it does feel a bit. I thought there was another card there. So we've got the in-between. So this is really and truly obvious, like, you're here, but you're not here. You're in at the part where you're on the threshold of just going into your new beginning. So it's so crucial, it's so important not to allow these sort of 3D type people to keep on baiting you out and sort of like pulling you back in, because they are doing the bidding of the system's work. They work for the system. They're the agents. They're being handled by those who pull at their strings. So it's really important to kind of like be aware of where you are right now. You are here, but you are not here. You're just an old soul that's passing through. And then the next card that I've got, the tall poppy. So this is great because what I feel here with the burning rose and the tall poppy, there's this sort of like energy shift, this confidence shift. I'm not saying that this will be ego driven, but more confidence driven with regards to what it is that you actually want to do. Now, as I said earlier, maybe some of you have this mission, this soul mission. The reason why you came here in the first place on earth would be to start to work towards helping each other. So that's where the Six of Cups comes in. Equal opportunities, positive reciprocity between you and others. And why not? You have every right to, show the world what you're working on, what you're made of, and, your creativity. So if somebody's going to be knocking you or sort of like trying to sort of stop you from working on yourself and leaving your legacy behind, then this is where you're going to have to start really working towards leaving them behind. Okay? And then the card underneath the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Ancestral healing. So I do feel that whatever is going on here, because you have the chamber of healing and then it ends with ancestral healing, feels as if this is one cycle that is going to be closed out, but it is going to take a lot of healing, because if somebody's going to be saying some really nasty things to you, towards you, or they're going to be attacking you spiritually, hopefully not physically, but energetically, financially trying to harm you as well, this is where you need to start really working towards healing this cycle and putting it to an end, closing it out, and then moving on. Okay, so this is what I've got. Hopefully this has helped you out with your situation, and yeah, just good luck with your endeavors, and just keep pushing past all of the haters, because there's tons of them around, and I'm convinced that there are quite a lot of them that fall into the category of NPCs, those ones who are just programmed to deceive and programmed to cause problems, not solutions. And, it's your job, it's your mission to decide on whether or not to engage or to go at warp drive and just get the fuck out. All right. So this is what I've got. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the other side.